Look, Sir Keir Starmer has flip-flopped so much, I think we should start calling him Gandhi. Do you remember this lady?
To those waiting with bated breath for that favourite media catchphrase, the U-turn, I have only one thing to say. U-turn if you want to. The ladies not for turning.
Ah, now we're stuck with this guy. Right, we need to bring benefits down. A quarter of people in Britain are on some form of disability benefit. Apparently, 1 in 5 new cars are for the Motability scheme. And around 650,000 16 to 24-year-olds are also on benefits. So Sir Keir Starmer, well, he was going to do it, wasn't he? He really was.
Must have a welfare system fit for the future, and the current model doesn't work. It desperately needs reform. It leaves people trapped and not able to get into work, and so we need to reform it, and that's what we will do.
Big tough guy, wasn't he? That was 72 hours ago, by the way. 72 hours ago. Then what happened? Oh, well, Diane Abbott wasn't happy. She wasn't happy. So he's U-turned, hasn't he? Now, if you're on PIP, apparently you're basically still going to get it. And if you're on universal credit for your health, then apparently you're still going to get that as well. And it could cost us around £4.5 billion, which means what? Your taxes are going up, aren't they? They're all going up. Surely they're going up. It's another U-turn. Where are your principles? Where is your spine, Sir Keir? In fact, here at GB News, we came into possession of a leaked X-ray from Sir Keir Starmer's last medical appointment. I think we can show you it, can we? No spine. Absolutely no spine there, is there? It's a real shame for the guy. It's a real shame. He's just made out of jelly. Anyway, do we think that Sir Keir Starmer is too weak to lead? Let's get the thoughts of my panel and my live studio audience. Barry's not happy. Barry's not happy. OK, there we go. Right, OK, do we have a chap straight away on the front row here? What's your name, sir, and where are you from?
I'm Greg from Norfolk.
Greg from Norfolk, take it away. Do you think he's too weak to lead? Is this the beginning of the end?
Yes, I do. I think, given the recent YouGov poll, I think it's more than the beginning of the end for two-tier Keir and the Labour Party.
Right.
And maybe the results show the importance of a potential tie-up between Mr Farage and the Tories.
OK, you've rolled quite a lot into one there, sir, so thank you very much. Adam, do you think Sir Keir Starmer's too weak to lead?
Yes, I think he's possibly the worst Prime Minister we've had in decades. The man won't answer...
Liz Truss?
He won't answer a simple question when asked. He deflects. He lies, continually lies. And, I mean, with this benefit bill, he risks a leadership contest as well, and possibly, if it goes that wrong, a general election. We can all hope, but it's very doubtful. But, look, we have 1.2 million foreigners in this country claiming benefits. That's 12 billion a year. Now, if they stop that overnight, we'd be much better off as a country. Instead of trying to attack genuine disabled or people that cannot work, we need to get people that can work back into work.
I think this is one of the points, isn't it? There are huge numbers of people who genuinely do need support, who do need benefits, who are disabled, all of that, and it's not knocking any of those people, but I do think there is a general perception that there are also millions of people on the take and that we need to do something about that. Miriam, we'll come to you on this. Was he on to something? If he'd just stuck to his guns on these welfare and benefits reforms, I mean, presumably you would have backed what he wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the reforms went far enough. They were just minor cuts rather than a total reform of the whole system. And there's some very obvious things that we should do, like end telephone appointments for getting benefits for mental health. We should go back to face-to-face. In fact, we probably shouldn't have incapacity benefits for mental health, not low level. So I think he didn't go far enough in many ways. But I don't think it is as simple as he's too weak to lead. I think that the problem that the Labour government have got is exactly the same problem as the Conservative government have got, which is that when a Prime Minister presents something that's unpopular and difficult, which, let's face it, all good decisions are now going to have to be, MPs say, oh, can't vote for that, my constituents won't like it. And suddenly
Yeah.
the national interest goes out the window, their personal and constituency interest comes first, and you never, ever get through the difficult things that are good for the country. And this is a cross-party problem.
OK, right, so before we go to Christo, maybe someone else as well who'd like to make a point, I'll get you to come back to it. If only we had a serving Labour MP on the panel. Oh, hello, Barry. How are you? OK, so would you have rebelled?
I didn't sign the letter, and I had a conversation with my whip this morning. They're the people who try and get pressured onto you to make you vote the right way. And we talked through what was going. Let's actually try and say what the bill was proposing to do. Okay. And then see if people think it was fair. Because there are different sorts of benefits in this country, and the PIP ones, which are the ones that a lot of people have talked about, the personal independence payments, they're not actually means tested, right? They're needs tested. And what this would have done is it would have taken away those benefits from 370,000 existing claimants up to £4,500 a year. Now, this is about fairness in our society. Why? Because disabled people actually have increased costs to live. Sometimes it's their heating costs, sometimes it's their transport costs, sometimes it's their sanitary pads and the needs that they have for that. These are all things, and what we as a society do is we say, you know what? We don't want you to be disadvantaged by your disability. And therefore, we will assess your need and we'll give you money to pay for those extra costs that you have as a disabled person. Now, that was the bulk of what this was about. There were other aspects of it. We can go into those if you want to, Patrick. But you see, I actually think this is a really important question about the sort of society that we want to be. Do we want to be the sort of society that says, I'm all right, Jack, and therefore I'm not going to pay my taxes to ensure that you are able to live in the same way
Barry,
that I am?
why is it the taxpayer's responsibility and not your family and your community? Because it used to be, before the welfare state, the job of government was security, armed forces, make sure infrastructure works, and make sure you have law and order. It was the family and the community's job to look after people who...
But we are the community.
We're not.
We are
It's the
community.
faceless taxpayer, and that's why people rip off the faceless taxpayer.
Were
because
you in
their own
favour
family
or
is
not then?
harmed.
I didn't. From your answer, I didn't get whether you would have voted for it or not.
I think the government made a big mistake in these cuts. A big mistake. And I've said that publicly, and I've said, in fact, I said it on this programme before. But I'm pleased now that actually the government has said that it's going to look at it again, because, you know, there was no consultation with disabled people when they
Well, there
brought
weren't
these
any
proposals.
consultation with the people from the Chagos Islands either, but you ploughed ahead with that.
Not much consultation.
Patrick, great line, cheap shot. But you also know that I happen to agree with you on the Chagos deal. So you know, let's be fair on this.
Why do they keep doing this? I don't like Barry. It's not just. You're right, Chagos. They're sort of really badly thought through, but they just sort of shove it through anyway. This, you know, I don't want to live in a society where disabled people end up suffering. I really don't.
Exactly.
But it can't be right that there are that many young people between 16 and 24 who are unable to work because of their mental health. That has got to be reassessed.
Let me assess that, because let's look at...
I don't want you to assess my mental health.
One second, Barry.
I'm sure you don't.
Barry, just one question.
Yeah,
Have we made it too easy not to work in this country? Yes or no?
Well,
yes or no? No, like, long answer. Yes or no?
Well, if it were a simple answer, and if it weren't a complex question...
That's the problem with politics. We've made it
No,
too
it's
easy
not.
not to work in this country.
No. You see... It's a great soundbite, but now let's
the
listen
truth.
to
It's
the
also
facts.
true. I've actually
Let's
got
listen-
a graph in
hang
front
on.
of me
Let's-
that
let's-
shows
let's
if
listen-
you claim PIP universal
okay.
credit, you make
If you
4
don't want an
million
answer
claims.
to the
There
question,
you
that's
go.
fine.
Right,
You can all pile on.
No. Let's not
Right?
all pile. It's not fair. Barry does a good job every week. Barry, thank you. So no, come on, give me your answer, and then Miriam can get a graph
The
out.
point is,
Sorry, that sounded a lot better in my head. I'm sorry. No, I didn't.
I like
That's a
graphs.
stretch. Anyway,
And
go on.
spreadsheets.
All right.
the point is that most of these benefits are not work related. It's not a question, and that's why I said they're needs based. So it's not a question that it's about work or not work. This isn't about that. And I support all the parts of the reform package that was in the Green Paper, which were about saying, look, you should have the right to try, because a lot of people who are at the moment on the old system, they're on permanent disability.
Okay.
Now, some of them think, actually, I might be able to work. And this is where I do agree with you, Adam, okay? They think, I might be able to work. But trouble is, with the system as it is, if I go back into work and I can't manage it, I then get penalised if I say, no, I'm sorry, I can't manage it, I've got to go back onto
the
benefits.
fact that we've also got things, as maybe you're about to point out, Miriam, but 1 in 5 new cars in Britain is going to someone on the Motability scheme. Well, you just drive around, you see, don't you, I mean this with absolute respect, but you see some quite downtrodden areas in the country, and then there's a brand new Merc on the drive, and you think, well, where's that come from? Well, it's come from us, actually, as it turns out. We're paying for so-and-so to have a Merc and for their partner to have a BMW as well. I mean, it can't be right.
No.
Most
And I think-
disabled people in this
Come on.
country are not driving around
the
in
problem is that everybody agrees that people who are disabled and have health problems through no fault of their own should be supported. But that doesn't mean it's the taxpayer's responsibility to support them. What's family for and what's community for? The state, there are jobs that only the state can do. Army, law and order, infrastructure. But there are jobs that family and community must do. And the problem is now that we all pay so much in tax to support people we have never met and will never meet before we can support our own families, that there's now this deep sense of unfairness that is actually breaking down people's solidarity with the state as a concept.
All right, we've got to go. Hey, tell you what, this has been the liveliest start we've had for a couple of weeks. I'm enjoying this. Thank you very much, everyone.
By the way, I'm still Team Truss as well. I've not forgotten your dig there. I am Team Truss. And I'm going to come back to you on that one.